Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark and Sarah today because Pam's away at BNI. Networking! We are covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
And today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. And also brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com, and remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
We have the pleasure of being joined in studio today by Detective Joe Philippon of the Lewiston Police Department. Oh, the studio audience loves you, Joe.
Oh, wow. It's amazing. I don't even know where these people are. But...
I know. We keep them behind that curtain.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
Don't worry about it.
We don't
I thought it was all of the nurses walking in to go upstairs.
Oh, yeah. You keep seeing them, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes they wave at us.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's like
Do you wave back? I waved to one, and she just kind of looked at me like,
She's like, why? Now what have they done?
Yeah.
She was just worried about us.
Right.
The police are here now. These people.
What is going on?
We are excited to have Joe with us as we are going to talk about Lewiston PD's Summer Fun and Films. We're going to talk Maine's Got Talent, as Joe is a judge at Maine's Got Talent and has been for the past 5 or so years. We got more stuff coming up with Joe in just a bit. Right now, let's take a look at some headlines for Wednesday, April 30th.
You say wetness day?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wedness.
Yeah. He likes to enunciate.
I do.
A new bill in the Maine legislature aims to eliminate property tax for Maine seniors. The proposal would assist residents over 65 who have lived in the state for at least 10 consecutive years. The state would reimburse towns and cities for lost revenue. A similar program enacted in 2022 saw 86,000 applicants cost the state $26 million. The program was repealed after 1 year due to its high price tag.
The North American Numbering Plan Administrator released an updated forecast extending the life of Maine's 207 area code to the first quarter of 2045.
Yay!
Whew.
It's
We
amazing.
are the 207.
Yes.
It's been amazing. We've been on the brink of losing 207
We have.
immediately to, you got another 20 years.
Yeah, now you can have it for 20 more years.
Previous forecasts predicted the 207 area code would become exhausted by 2025, then 2033, and most recently 2036. NANPA is attributing the revised projection to reduced historical and projected demand for new numbers.
The city of Lewiston is encouraging residents to use Easy Card for bulky waste disposal. The card provides access to the city's solid waste facility to dispose of items like furniture, mattresses, and kitchen appliances. The card is free for homeowners. Renters and multi-unit owners will be charged $25 for up to 1,000 pounds of waste.
And due to last weekend's rain, Auburn's Earth Day community cleanup has been rescheduled to Saturday. Plan to meet at Pettingill Park, Anniversary Park, or Festival Plaza at 10 a.m. or organize a group in your neighborhood. Safety vests and trash pickers will be provided as supplies allow. And for more information, you can visit auburnmaine.gov.
Let's talk about the weather.
Is it time for the weather?
Yeah.
Weather!
Rain or shine, it's all okay. Grab your uke and start the day. Clouds may come or skies turn blue. Weather's fun with me and you. The sun is bright and storms may brew. Every day's a brand new view. You don't need perfect skies above. Hey, just a song and a little love.
Wow. That is the Maine's Got Talent winner of 2025 right there, folks.
I keep telling her she should enter, but
That's awful. That's
I don't get it. It's a wonderful song.
Thank you.
Beautifully
Thank you.
performed.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's magical.
It is
Thank you.
magical.
Magical.
Thank you, Joe.
Anyways, in the weather, sunny today with a high of 65 and a low of 42. Partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 64 and low of 36. And you can expect some rain on Friday with highs in the 60s.
In sports, Jason Tatum's 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists led the Celtics over the Orlando Magic 120-89. Boston won the best-of-7 series in 5 games and will play the New York Knicks or Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Wilyer Abreu hit a 3-run homer, and Garrett Crochet allowed just 2 runs over 7 innings as the Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 10-2. They'll play again tonight at 7 in Toronto. Lucas Giolito gets the start for Boston.
Bates College baseball lost to the University of Southern Maine 9-8 in Gorham. The Bobcats close out their season this afternoon with a home game against the Huskies. First pitch is scheduled for 3 p.m.
And our Maine Nordiques will face off against the stinking Rochester Junior Americans in the best-of-5 East Division Finals. Game 1 and 2 are Friday and Saturday in New York. There will be free watch parties at the Colisee. They're also offering stick and puck ice time for $5. You must wear full gear to participate.
We're going to see you out there, Sarah?
I don't have a helmet.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's what gear means.
Yes. Helmets and pads and all that good
Helmets
stuff.
and pads and all that jazz.
And the Maine Mayhem women's football team will hit the road to take on the Baltimore Nighthawks on Saturday afternoon. That's your news, weather, and sports. And right now it is time for the podcast segment that is Sweeping the Twin Cities. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
At this point, she should just record an album.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize we were going to get an encore performance.
That's a totally different song, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember, that one wasn't about weather.
oh, was it? Okay, yeah. It was just I was so enamored by the pitch and the tone that I wasn't focusing on the
Wow.
words.
This is why he's a judge.
She's practicing.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at FPBs for April the 30th, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, we're saying goodbye to April today.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Gal Gadot, 40 years old.
Crazy.
Wonder Woman,
She's amazing.
amazing. She was also in the Fast and Furious movies
Oh, yeah.
and played the evil queen in Snow White.
That box office success.
There you go.
Yeah, that one's getting trashed on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm.
We're not going to be offering that one, I think, for.
No, I think you could probably skip that one.
Yeah.
It's okay to skip that one. Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst is 43 years old today.
What a cutie she was.
MJ.
Yeah, she's grown up.
Yeah, she played
43, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mary Jane in the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. Mm-hmm. They had that upside down kiss. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah.
And it was raining. How did she or he not get rain all up in his nose?
I don't know.
Spider nostrils.
Spider nostrils.
I don't know.
Thank you, Joe.
That's got to be what it is.
I knew he'd have the answer.
Yeah. I remember the first movie I saw her in, Interview with a Vampire. She was just little. She was like a little tiny child and so scary.
Right.
She was so
All little children in scary movies are scary though.
Yeah.
Or horror
She
movies.
was quite scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jumanji. Remember Jumanji?
Yes.
She was in that one
Yeah,
too.
that was
She was
great.
great in that.
And rounding out FPBs for April the 30th.
We literally have 2 FPBs.
This would be the third.
Oh, okay.
We had
Oh, Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Galecki
Oh, yeah.
from The Big Bang Theory and Roseanne is 50 years old today. So there you go. Not exactly
Well, he was in one of your favorite.
blockbuster FPBs.
He was in one of your favorites. Now,
Some days are
Moving
better
on
than
now.
others, Joe. You know?
we were just talking about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah. He played Rusty.
In that one, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went from Anthony Michael Hall to Johnny Galecki, and no one noticed.
And nobody noticed.
Those are your FPPs. Now let's take a look at some OTDs,
Eh,
shall we?
Yeah.
On this day 17 years ago in 2008, after only dating for 6 weeks, Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon got married in the Bahamas, and they divorced 8 years later.
That's amazing that they made it 8 years.
It is.
That's a long time.
For the
celebrity.
the whirlwind of it after dating only 6 weeks. Like
32 years ago on this day in 1993. Oh, this was horrifying.
that was horrifying. All on television.
Yeah. Tennis player Monica Seles was stabbed in the back with a boning knife during a tennis match in Hamburg, Germany. The attacker was an obsessed fan of Steffi Graf, who Monica recently beat at the Australian Open. Seles didn't play professional tennis again for the next 3 years.
That's had to have been crazy traumatic.
Yikes.
Doing your job and then someone stabs you. Well,
Yeah.
It can happen.
Well, Joe,
Yes, yes. That has happened to one of my coworkers.
33 years ago on this day in 1992, the final episode of The Cosby Show aired after 8 seasons. 44 million sets of eyeballs watched that show.
wow.
Yep.
Is that in syndication?
I haven't seen it anywhere.
Yeah, I feel like they were like, well, I guess we're done with this.
Yeah.
Canceled.
Yep.
Yeah.
And finally, 222 years ago on this day in the year 1803, France sold the United States all of the land from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains. The massive real estate deal is known as the Louisiana Purchase. It cost $15 million, which equates to about 4 cents per acre.
Hey, thanks, France.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Those are your FPBs and OTDs for April the 30th.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Now we shift focus fully to our guest in studio, Detective Joe Philippon with the Lewiston Police Department. Joe, how long have you been with LPD?
So come this June, it'll be 20 years.
Wow.
I know, time flies when you're having fun.
Is there a celebration planned for you that we could attend?
I know, right?
No, it's the longest sentence you'll ever serve and no early release for good behavior. I'll tell you.
No.
It is crazy, though, as I'm coming up on this point, because I remember, a decade ago or even day one, it's like, wow, 25 years can take forever.
Yeah.
And then now I'm on the cusp of getting to that mark, and it's like, wow, time flies.
Yeah.
In many cases. And I would say in particular, the last 5 years, they say when you have kids, especially young kids, that it's just time flies even faster. And boy, they are not lying when they say that.
Did you think you'd last 20 years?
I did. I guess I never really had a doubt that I would. It just, you're working all the time, you're in the mix of it, and it just seems like it's going to be forever from now. And I guess, and also you're young, so you're not thinking long term necessarily, but it really does go by fast. It's amazing to me driving around town, and if I really stop and think about things, I'm like, oh, I've been there, I've been there, I've been there. It's amazing how many houses I've been into.
Right. For one reason or another.
For whatever reason.
And the amount of things you forget. Because I find that generally speaking, cops have this case open, case closed mindset. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with coping and all that stuff.
Dissociating, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, the second I hit send and submit that report or whatever, I pretty much jettison that information out of my head. So now doing this job for 20 years, growing up locally, living locally, and all this, the number of people that come and do you remember this? And I'm like,
I don't
clue.
Yeah.
Clue. And hopefully it wasn't last week because I may not remember.
Oh, boy.
Joe, what inspired you to want to become a police officer?
The real story is that I had a lot of fun growing up, maybe too much fun, especially in high school. Towards my senior year, I thought it'd be funny to have as a gag from my senior photos to have a cop car because of how much fun I had in high school.
Ah.
And both my parents have worn many hats, but their foundational hat as educators, as teachers, and they were both teachers at St. John's for a long time. So they had a number of students that were in law enforcement, and I wound up reaching out to somebody and getting a Lewiston police car for one of my senior photos. And, the start of my senior year in high school at St. John's, I was interested in becoming a chef, and I had already been accepted into culinary arts school, and that was my path. Got that senior photo done with the Lewiston PD cop car, giving it out more as a gag. But then it just kind of got me thinking, maybe it could be fun to do something else, be on the other side, if you will. And just that constant change and the diversification of what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So it was enough doubt that come the end of my senior year, I said, you know what? I'm not going to do the chef thing. I'm going to look into this cop thing. I wound up not going down to Johnson & Wales, stayed here locally, went to USM, undeclared, and just started working on my bachelor's degree there, and then doing ride-along, started working at St. Mary's Hospital and security, which, one thing that sticks out about St. Mary's is predominantly they interact with or have patients with suffering from substance misuse disorder and mental health. Two populations, of course, that law enforcement frequently have interactions with. And just got a feel for it from there. And lo and behold, just a few years later, I was working full-time at Lewiston PD.
Wow.
Right out of the gate, that was your first place.
Yeah,
in
so
law
you got to be
enforcement.
21 to be a full-time police officer in the state of Maine. My birthday is in April, and in June of turning 21, I was starting my first day of work at LPD.
So, did you just celebrate your birthday?
I did.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
How are you liking the new digs in the mill?
It's very nice. I mean, probably aesthetically, I would imagine one of the nicer looking police departments, and definitely in the state, if not across the country. I know we're supposed to have friction between us and Auburn, so I know they haven't built theirs yet, but there's no way it's going to have the same amount of personality as our building.
I wonder where that friction comes from.
No, it's great. It's a couple of things. We have one of the things that really stands out is the gym that we have that was donated by Geiger Brothers, and Peter and Jean Geiger have been avid supporters of this community, but in particular the police department and of Lewiston Summer Fun and Films for that matter. But that gym is great, and it's really energizing to be in there. You should join us sometime, Sarah.
I would love to.
So that's really nice. And the other thing is, man, the amount of food options now readily available.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you got Da Vinci's,
Yeah.
Lewiston House Pizza, Baxter.
No more Simone's hot dogs for you?
We're still gonna go up there every now and then, but it's a longer walk. for
Yeah.
sure.
It's kind of weird that I didn't get invited to the gym.
Oh, you work out?
Well, Joe, this has been fun. Best of luck out there.
Thank you.
So this was long overdue, right? You guys
Yeah.
moving into a new facility.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's hard with with I think a lot of buildings, but in particular public safety buildings, they've evolved, they changed, especially the job has changed. Even in my 20 years, the expectations, the role, and the functions that we play in the community has greatly evolved. Technology has increased. I mean, mind you, when I started in 2005, I mean, we didn't have computers in the police cars. We still did handwritten reports. So to fast forward to where we are today, that is arcane, right? But also just the workflow. So, the building, and, I just kind of, my father was on the Lewiston City Council back in the early 80s. And, one of the things that he ran on was the need for a new police station back then. And back then, Lewiston PD was still housed in the basement of Lewiston City Hall. And so my father, along with several other people, was a big advocate for the police department getting its own modern, state-of-the-art police station, and that led to the construction of 171 Park Street. Pretty fascinating, interesting. His name's on the plaque in there twice. Actually, on the last day, which was this past Monday, where they formally closed it. Over the weekend, you could go in there still and make your lobby complaint, but we had already moved basically out of that building. But after 8:30 a.m. on Monday, the main lobby at the 171 Park Street was closed, but it was pretty neat. My dad joined me. We went over there, walked around. He shared some stories, took some photos. I have some memories. My father was a bail commissioner back in the day, so when I was very young, I recall going with him a few times while he would process people out, and he would have me sit in the dispatch room. In the dispatch room was where the supervisor's office was during my time. And there was a panic button in the dispatch room. I'm sure it was a bright colored button, and I was young, so I probably said, don't push unless an emergency.
no.
And I probably said, well, don't push, so I'm going to push.
This is the sort of trouble that you were talking about.
Yes. right out the gate. So I pushed the button, and I remember that being a thing. I don't remember much details, but I remember it being like, I set off some type of an alarm, and, the whole kit and caboodle. Those memories, my father sharing, some of his stories about his experiences. One memory that sticks out that I had forgotten, and it's kind of sad, was he bailed out the last arrest that Officer David Payne had made before he was killed.
Wow.
But a lot of other funny stories, him bailing out somebody who was drunk, OUI, and then as he's walking out the station, this drunk driver is getting back in their car to drive away, and him running into the station being like, hey, hey. Needless to say, that guy did not get bailed out again. He went back to jail. Or he went over, crossed the river, and came over here.
Back over here. I love the building that you're in. It's beautiful. And I think one of the really cool things about it is that it has that big, beautiful lobby.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a a big part of being part of the community when you have law enforcement is feeling like you can, like it's approachable. And I feel like your new space is definitely approachable.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's one of the things, generally speaking, across the country when they're building new police stations, it's that idea of accessibility. They used to be built like fortresses. Even 171 Park Street, really, it's a lot of brick, small windows up high. You can't really see, modern design for police stations typically incorporate lots of windows, stuff like that, transparency, if you will, welcoming. So, no, it's nice to hear you say that. So it seems like we hit the mark there.
I think so.
And if you need a theme song for your new headquarters.
Just write a new theme song.
I wonder what the lyrics would be for that.
I'm just going to go into the jingle writing business.
Yeah. And if we could cue it up so that as you open up the lobby door to come in,
Yeah.
It should just be like a welcome song.
Yeah.
Right.
Just something about being welcome.
Well, it could be welcoming, and depending on it, sometimes, you don't really want to talk to a person that's in the lobby, so maybe it could be a deterrent, too.
Well, in that case, you want me to sing.
Yeah, we could do some heavy metal riffs. Welcome in.
I'll have to get one of those biometric readers. Like, are they coming in hot or are they...
Do we want to calm them or do we want to amp them up?
How do we want to handle this? One of the things that Joe has brought to this community, and I know you're very passionate about it, is the Lewiston Police Department's Summer Fun and Films. And it seems to be growing every year exponentially.
It's amazing. We're going into our 10th year now. And when you think of where we started, which was just with maybe a couple hundred people going, a small screen, and really no activities. By our current very hodgepodge, very to where we are today, it's amazing. It's really cool. One of the I think public relations are extremely important, especially when it comes to the police and the community. Oftentimes, police departments' methodology or method of doing community relations is more like community forums where you got a cop in front of the room and then you got the audience in front of them, and it's kind of that traditional back and forth like a lecture hall. And that can be very beneficial. I definitely have been part of and moderated several of those. But they're also formal. And because they're formal doesn't necessarily mean that, everybody comes. And what I really like about Lewiston Summer Fun and Films, and my goal and intent with it, was to have that very informal atmosphere where you just have cops there, whether you like police officers or you don't, you have a kid and you're trying to find something to do, and in the back of your mind, at the very least, that law enforcement is part of organizing this. And whether or not you choose to acknowledge that or engage with the officers, up to you. You don't have to. But I feel like that's that maybe for those relationships that we don't have strong, with those individuals that we don't have strong connections with, that maybe that could just be that one good experience that maybe hopefully leads to others.
Yeah.
Good cops, definitely are untrusting and always ask and always verify things. But the other key component to law enforcement is information. And you get information when you have relationships or when there's established trust there. And so in a broader sense, a hope is that people will feel more confident and comfortable in interacting with us and trust us and give us the information we need so that we can address crime, because, we're oftentimes not there when the bad things happen. And it means we very much so are dependent and relying on what other people will share with us.
For folks who have not attended Summer Fun and Films, can you kind of give us an overview of what they can expect this year?
Yeah, so Lewiston Summer Fun and Films takes place during school break. Our first movie night this year, for instance, will be on June 25th, and we go every other week during summer vacation. It's typically on Wednesdays, except for National Night Out, which is the first Tuesday. Oh, we got a dog fight, I think, going on.
In the building.
In the building.
They're part of the show.
That's just Vinny letting everyone know someone's here.
Gotcha. So every other summer, we're going to be doing 5. We typically do 5 events. Everything is free. We start our program at 6 p.m. with what we call the pre-movie activities program, where we have a whole host of activities for your kids to do. We have Mr. Drew and his Animals 2,
Yay.
photo booth, balloon twisters, face painting, inflatable bounce houses and obstacle courses, an aerialist activity, which we added last year, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Kids get up there, and it's amazing what some of our kids who have never touched this contraption are able to do.
Yeah.
And no, you won't see me on it. I'm pretty sure at now being 41 years old, I would break.
That's a testament to Danielle, too, and her skill level.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then she also does a performance. So
Yeah. Oh, the Little Mermaid one was so cool.
Yes.
Did you see that
Yeah,
one?
yes.
Yeah, that was neat.
And face painting. So those are our stock activities. Those are all free for anybody to attend. We also welcome and invite anybody who service providers to come and table. It's a good way to get out into the community and talk with people, bring an activity, do whatever. And we have Pinky D's food truck on hand if you want to pay for a little extra and get some food. You know, Randy's been with us almost since the beginning. So has Mr. Drew. Those are some of our two long-term vendors. And, of course, HPA Productions that everybody's familiar with, from especially the chamber functions. Those are some of our OGs.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I mean, our population, like I said, we had a few hundred, and now we average between 1,000 to 1,200 people per event.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What a great thing for people to do to help the community, too, like Mr. Drew and Ariel Jade and all those folks.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that I really like about the program is that we support our local businesses, and our local businesses, entertainers, they are very accommodating. They make sure to check in with me before they start booking other things at the end of this upcoming summer. I'm going to hear from them so we can lock in our dates. They want to be part of it. They're exceptionally accommodating, and I'm just glad that we raise a lot of money. This is not a cheap program anymore. That is for sure. We average about $35,000 in expenditures per season.
Wow.
I'm glad to say that all of that money is raised locally, and that money goes out and supports local businesses like Mr. Joe.
There's a variety of locations where this takes place, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we try and bounce around. And so we're usually at Samar Payne Park. That's where our first one will be. Connors Elementary School, Pettingill School Park, and Lewiston Middle School's fields are our main locations. I will say it's been interesting as we've gotten bigger. I don't know how much as we've gotten bigger, the event kit's getting larger. And our power needs. We used to be even much more portable. I used to be able to do this off a 7,500 watt generator. So you could say, hey, we want to do a movie night right here outside here underneath the overhang, and we could have done it. We can't do that now. Especially now with the LED wall. And that was probably one of the biggest capital improvements that we did for the program, because before it is very challenging to deal with projection in daylight.
Yeah.
And when you have young, our event is obviously catered more towards kids or families. A 9:30, 8:45 movie start time is late.
Yeah.
It's late. The LED wall now lets us, right now.
Nice.
Light out, but it will be dark by the time the movie's over.
Yes.
That'll make it even more fun.
Yeah, and we start our movie program at 7:30. So 6 o'clock pre-movie activity, 7:30 is the movie.
How are the movies selected?
So we get a list, and I try and pick the newer titles, and we put it out on social media for people to vote.
Ah, cool.
Maybe we can get some weigh-in, because I was kind of surprised on the movies that I didn't realize I was going to have so many choices. Some years I feel like I'm like trying to come up with 10 options, but that's not going to be the case this year. I have 13, and I feel like that's a lot.
Wow.
But, I'm looking at maybe offering the Minecraft movie.
Oh,
That's going to be Jackson's number one.
That'll be a big one, yeah. Towards the end, yeah.
We have the Legend of Ochi, Dog Man, which is quite a popular children's book series.
Yeah.
I do have Snow White listed, but I'm probably going to axe it. But
You probly should.
or maybe I don't need to axe it. I'll let the community do it.
Yeah.
Wicked, Moana 2, Sonic 3.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All three of those.
Yeah. So we'll see. And then some of the things that we're seeing if we can do is incorporate lighting, like a light show into our.
Ooh, little drone show or something.
Something.
Like that. That's cool.
We're always looking. If anybody has any ideas, I'm always interested in seeing what else we can offer and do that's a little bit different.
That's fun.
And I forgot to add, we also have a hot air balloon at our events.
Sweet.
Yes.
Up and down?
So, hot air balloons are extremely finicky. as I've learned. So a day like this, we're looking out, it looks good, and it's probably still too windy. There's always something.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yep.
perfect weather condition. It's like, as a cop, I can come up with a million excuses as to why I'm not going to do traffic. It's raining. It's too hot. It's, whatever.
You're a hot air balloon.
Yeah, hot air balloon. But in theory, under perfect conditions, we'll have a tethered balloon that will go up and down.
Yeah.
Kind of like the moon glow setting
Yeah.
at DC at the Balloon Festival. And they also have another balloon that they lay out on its side so kids can go in. It's kind of like another version of
Oh,
a
I've
bounce
seen
house.
that. They're huge too.
They are
Enormous.
enormous.
You don't realize it when you're looking at them up in the sky.
Yeah. No, it's like stop signs.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah, they're much bigger when you get close to them. Yeah.
But it's massive. But I will say, I was surprised. We actually were able to set up at Pettingill School Park last summer with the we never got a balloon to go up when the weather conditions weren't right, but we had the inflatable one go out, and we squeezed all that into that little park. It's pretty impressive.
small
I was
space,
surprised.
yeah.
That's when I said, all right, I guess we could still bounce around.
There's still room.
Yeah. And you have a big night coming up on Saturday.
Oh yes, Maine's Got Talent.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
So I'm really excited. I think we're going to be having 8 or 10 performers. So one of the things about being a judge is you're pretty much left out of it. So I really don't know much other than I have a date and a time and a place that I'm supposed to be at.
And I heard from previous guests or people involved with Maine's Got Talent that even though you have that information, sometimes it doesn't always work out.
Yeah, I mean, Stephanie Jelinas, God bless her. I mean, she really likes people to be very punctual and there early. As I shared earlier when we started, I find this to be the most nerve-wracking things that I do because it's all improv, and I just, maybe my parents tell me that, well, you're like a professional audience member. And I'm like, maybe I am from all of my experience of like growing up around the theater and all of this stuff. But I just don't feel like I know anything. I feel like I'm just that guy from the audience that you just randomly plucked and put on stage and now they have to come up with something. So because of that, I tend to I just want to roll in and I don't want to give it much thought. And because you just got to wing it, and that the social hours before, you get a lot, and it just gets me going. We typically have a lot of friends. We have a few friends that will join us that night. And we'll go out to eat at Fishbones before, and then I will leave. We always take 2 cars so I can get there a little bit earlier than them, and then I make my way in and hopefully get there about 5 minutes before we go live. But it's so much fun. Last year's show, the set's changed. Greg's done a great job designing, just creating that atmosphere, the audience. It's, quite thrilling. And you guys are performers, and I know you've done theater. I mean, when you have an audience and an engaged audience, and they're cheering as a judge, cheering you or booing you. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and you feed off of that. And usually, I wind up getting this chair closest to the audience for whatever reason. So I need that engagement. It helps me figure out what I'm going to do. But it's a blast. If you've never been, please check us out this Saturday at the Franco Center. Maine's Got Talent. I'm sure tickets are available. Maybe. I don't know where our numbers are. I know they tend to go fast. But go on social media, Facebook, Maine's Got Talent. Come join us. It's a great night. You won't regret getting a babysitter.
Joe, what are you most proud of in your professional career?
Boy, that's a tough question.
Oh, we don't throw softballs over here, Joe.
I know you
This
don't.
is-
I would say in terms of an achievement, one of the things that I'm probably most proud of is in the involvement I had with the passage of a law during the last legislative session that changed the rules of evidence regarding child testimony for sexual assault cases. So traditionally, just when we do, and that's my day job, is I, for the most part, investigate child sexual abuse and physical abuse. When you have a case and you're going forward, children victims or all victims, regardless of age, are expected to go on a stand and testify. And even as a professional witness, it is nerve-wracking and it gets you anxious. But obviously, for those that are younger, it's very overwhelming. And it does make the prosecution of these cases challenging. And the reality is that fear is exploited. sometimes cases get pushed so that the victim will ultimately not testify. And that's an injustice in and of itself. And so with the law that I worked on last year, we amended the Maine Rules of Evidence so that we can play as their direct testimony what they would say on the stand, their actual forensic interview. So a forensic interview, so one of the things that's unique about child sexual abuse cases, unlike anything else, if you call 911, you call, you make a report, police respond, and then boom, we're just off to the races. With these types of investigations, we actually hit the brakes. We get DHS involved if they need to be, the prosecutor's office, and then what we do is we set up what's called a forensic interview, which is a non-leading, trauma-informed interview done in a third-party location with somebody else. Most of the time, the children victims never even see me as the cop. They wouldn't even know me from Adam. So this is done in a safe setting, off-site, not at the police station. It's recorded. The reason being is that so that we can do this interview once, ideally, get all the information, and so that all of the people, agencies, prosecutors, anybody who's going to touch this case, they just get this one interview, as opposed to, historically speaking, the kid would have to go talk to the cop, then they would have to talk to DHS, the prosecutor,
And be re-traumatized over and over and over again.
and over. And especially nowadays, a lot of our cases, especially with the backlog, they can take 3-4 years to finally come to trial. It's a long time. With this bill, now we just get to play that recording that we saw. Yeah. And what I really like about it from, my job as an investigator is to be a fact finder for sure, and report accurately. But it is challenging to capture the presentation or the affect that somebody has. And, you could take hours trying to come up a way to describe somebody's delivery or how they express something.
Their emotional state.
And I think sometimes you use that to judge credibility. And what I like about this is now you don't take it from me, and I think it's better not for it to come from me, but take it from them. And you get to see them live. You get to see how it was when it was more fresh. It's impactful. For me, it was a local case that got me fired up, and I was frustrated with it. And then I did a typical me. Okay, well, I don't like this, so let's figure this out. And okay, it's a law change. All right, whatever. Let's figure out how to make a law.
Fix it.
Let's fix it. And it was a fun process. Met a lot of other impassioned people around the same subject matter, but it was just kind of on a whim for me. Now that it's been on the books, it's a law. It's not a Joe Philippon single case that got me motivated. And that case hasn't even processed through yet. It affects everybody. And so it's interesting because, a few months after the law went into effect, we got this email about a case, I think that was actually up in Aroostook County, where this case was probably not going to go forward. It had some challenges with prosecution because of a victim being petrified and testifying. But then it was the first case where we used this video, got a conviction. And that's when it really, for me, hit wow.
You made a difference.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You're a gem, Joe.
You are.
No.
Come on.
I'm just.
No.
I'm
We should write a song about it.
A jingle.
I am fortunate to have a lot of support from a lot of people who share a lot of the same thoughts and values that I have. And, one of the things, whether it be Lewiston Summer Fun and Films, this law, or some of the other stuff that I've done, there are ideas. And a lot of these ideas also come with a financial cost to it, and those ideas would have remained ideas if it wasn't for the very generous support that I get from individuals, businesses in this community. Which is why I think it's important to get out there. It's why I think it's important to be in touch with your community, be accessible. You don't know who you're going to meet when you're going to meet him, and you don't know how you're going to use that information later on down the road.
Right. Before we get into our final segment, just one more law enforcement related question for you. What has been the biggest advancement in law enforcement that you've seen in the past 20 years?
Cameras right now, or I would say cameras yesterday. We didn't have any of this stuff back when I started, and we hardly used video, and the amount of cameras and our reliance on video for case building is incredible on all aspects. it does seem like we're at a point where, you're going to need to get police cars are going to have to transition into like touring buses. And when you get out on a call, you're going to need a whole production team with you. And that's one of the things that's very challenging is that, between the CSI effect, what people see on TV, Law and Order, stuff like that, and practice. But, the problem is like, you have to build your cases, and if you're really thinking about it, you need to build your cases not for how another cop is going to read them or a prosecutor or people within the system, but how people who are not in the system are going to understand and read it. And so one of the things that I would not be surprised is that we're going to see much more video, audio recordings incorporated. I'm actually thinking that at some point, almost when we'll present a case, it will be more like a mini movie or something. But that's also what the juries want or they expect. And that's not a reasonable expectation because it's not at all what we do. But when it comes to the delivery, I foresee that being something that will eventually happen. But no, video and now AI, the use of AI is probably the newer one.
Yeah. Is that a pro or a con?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
I know that you're going to hear from some people who are going to complain that the officers aren't typing the reports and on and on and on. And there's biases brought into the programming. I think ultimately your catch safe in it is that if you're using AI, you still have your name on that report. You better read it, and it better be true. And if not, then there's consequences to it. But I mean, there's a lot of demands, a lot of expectations. Law enforcement's is the only 24/7 shop really available. We go to and see and do everything now. And which means that we don't have a lot of time. AI is, in my opinion, a way for us to free up officers' time so we can spend more time on the streets and being out of our cars, in our cars or out in the community doing things as opposed to sitting in a report room.
Right.
Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at lydiamediallc.com.
Great stuff, Joe, as always. We like to close out the show with a segment called 3 Random Questions.
Oh, boy.
Where we ask you things.
That's not what we've been doing?
Well, we have been doing that, but these are even more random.
Oh, boy.
We should rename it, Sarah, to 3 Randomer Questions.
Randomer.
What do you think?
Yes.
So we go from over-enunciation to randomer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
It's a challenge every day.
How do you do it?
I don't know.
You know what I should do? I should start working out. And that would occupy some of my time. And I wouldn't have extra time to think of all this other crap.
Oh, shoot.
Joe, how do you unwind after I was going to say a stressful day, but I will, in your situation, I will say after a day at work.
Any day of the week.
How do I unwind? Lately, I've been, I get home and I really try to separate myself from my phone and kind of been really working on going with the flow about whatever Jackson wants to do. So, lately it's been playing with Legos in our basement and just doing that until bedtime. We're about to start baseball and pickleball. So I think some of my unwinding is more or less distracting.
Yeah.
Cooking is a good one. What I like about cooking is that you have to be focused, and it's one way of focusing on something else. Mm-hmm. We just got done hockey season, so I don't have that in the bag. Hockey's a mixed bag, though, for me sometimes, because I play goalie, or I dress up as a goalie, and then sometimes people stupidly shoot it at my chest. But for me, there's 2 types of goalie personalities. You have the crazy, extreme, hair on fire, and then you have the very quiet, and I'm more the chill, quiet.
Yeah.
But it also makes me much more prone to be like the head case. So like if I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone. But if my focus is elsewhere, you'll know it. You'll know it even more so than how I normally play.
Yeah. Right.
Good answer. How long do you think you would survive a zombie apocalypse?
Oh boy. Probably not long. I really don't like being dirty.
Oh.
And so, like, the inability to not being able to take showers or wash my hands before eating, yeah.
That would be the thing that would get you in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, because they're all the dirty and disgusting. I mean, like, what do you do? I just, no.
No, not a, okay.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't know how to use a map, so
Yeah, that too,
you
right?
got to have a map to survive a zombie apocalypse.
Is that all you need is a map? Or one of the things?
It's definitely one of the things in your bug out bag for sure.
So my wife loves zombies.
Oh,
And she's always been big on watching anything zombie related. And it's been made very clear to me that I, maybe just out of courtesy because I'm her husband, I kind of make the list, but I don't really make the list.
yeah.
She's the former chef at Fuel Restaurant. Justin Oliver is definitely like pretty high up there on the list because he knows how to farm and grow and cook really good food. So at least while you're doing all this, you can have somebody you can make like, a good meal.
It's interesting that she's prioritized food over safety. You are a police officer.
Well, like, yeah. I am.
She's a woman after my own heart.
But, I think it's like, I have that stubborn sense, but I'll probably, get engaged in some zombie and then get killed pretty shortly thereafter. I don't know what I would, but yeah, dirtiness, no.
Dirtiness is going to be your downfall.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I mean, if you watch The Walking Dead, I mean, like, how disgusting and all, like, yeah.
They are dirty.
Yeah.
Everybody's fingernails.
Right. What do you do?
Joe, who's the better cook, you or your wife?
Katie, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You were going to go to culinary school.
Well, that's
cooked the fuel.
It's because I needed to learn how to cook. I would say, I kind of have like it kind of swings, but generally speaking, I do a lot of cooking at the house, and when I'm on fire, and I'm doing all the meals, and then sometimes I take a reprieve.
Yeah.
I'd say right now I'm a little bit in a reprieve mode, but I would say that we eat well at my house. Both my wife and I. We can make some good food.
What's your best dish?
Oh boy, I don't know if I really have a best dish. I kind of mix it up.
What's Jackson's favorite?
Oh god, well, that kid
Is it macaroni and cheese?
I was just thinking mac and cheese and chicken nuggets.
miserable. I need him to get over that because he always talks about how he wants to travel. And I'm like, and we like to travel too, but we also like to eat. And travel for us is a lot around
Testing out
food.
food,
And I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, we're not traveling with you because you're boring.
So I have a 21-year-old,
Yeah.
and he is just starting to get out of the chicken nugget macaroni and cheese phase, like
Oh, no.
cooking on his own. But I texted him Friday because he was home for the weekend. I was like, what do you want for dinner? And he was like, chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. And I said, what are you, 10? And he said, if I say yes, can I have chicken nuggets and mac and cheese? Sure, why not?
Well, I hope that that's not a forecasting of what's to come.
I hope so too.
It could be.
You never know. I mean, he does eat broccoli now, so there's that.
Wow.
I know, right?
It's funny too because like when he was younger, he used to eat everything. I'm like,
Mine too.
yeah, I'm like,
He'll
this is
come
gonna be
back
great.
around.
Yeah.
He'll come back around.
But as long as you have pizza, so I guess that makes it so that we can go to most Greek and Italian restaurants and get by.
Yeah. Any place that has a flatbread, you're fine.
Yeah.
Joe, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah.
No,
It's been
appreciate
fun.
it.
You are a gem of a human being, an asset to this community, and we so appreciate you. Happy belated birthday, and congratulations on the upcoming 20 years with the Lewiston Police Department.
Thank you.
He's Joe Philippon, everybody. Summer Fun and Films. Oh, one more thing. Where do folks go to get more info about Summer
yeah.
Fun and Films?
Lewiston Summer Fun and Films on Facebook. Follow us there. That's where we're going to predominantly do all of our information sharing. So go to that Facebook page. I would say that probably within the next week or two, I'm going to be putting out the movie poll so everybody can start voting on what they would like to see, and that's generally how we're going to do the events and get all that information out. So
And when
Lewiston Summer Fun and Films.
First movie's going to be when? June
25th at Samar Payne Park. Pre-movie activities for all the events start at 6 p.m. The movie program itself will start at 7:30. Everything is free, and we give out free water and free popcorn.
Sweet.
So cool.
Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com.
Have a great day. And remember, don't bite your cat.